What sets Pyxis Lab apart in the water treatment industry? It's our commitment to innovation, accuracy, and user-friendly solutions. Our OxyPanel Plus eliminates reagents and simplifies maintenance. Our PTSA expertise ensures precise chemical dosing. Our radar level sensors offer cutting-edge monitoring capabilities. But more than that, we understand that water treatment professionals deserve better tools. That's why we're constantly pushing the boundaries of water treatment technologies. Ready to experience the Pyxis Lab difference? Go to scalinguph2o.com/Pyxis. Once again, that's scalinguph2o.com/PYXIS. Pyxis, because water professionals deserve better. Three industry titans, Masters Company, Radical Polymers, and MFG Chemical, have joined forces to create your ultimate one-stop shop for your water treatment needs. We're talking over 60 years of Masters Company's expertise in private label products and cutting-edge test kits. Radical Polymers' game-changing Inisha additives, and MFG Chemical's custom manufacturing prowess. These American companies are bringing you top-notch quality and reliability all under one umbrella. From blending and ultra concentrates to specialized polymers and custom solutions, they've got you covered. And with multiple AWT Supplier of the Year awards between them, you know you're getting the best of the best. Ready to revolutionize your water treatment game? Head over to scalinguph2o.com/MFG. Once again, that's scalinguph2o.com/MFG. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. I know you can't wait for the AWT convention taking place November 11th through 15th. While you're there, be sure to stop by and see the whole gang from Masters, Radical Polymers, and MFG Chemicals at booths 200 through 208. Happy Industrial Water Week, Scaling Up Nation. Trace Blackmore here, your host of Scaling Up H2O. And of course, Scaling Up H2O, your destination to celebration all of Industrial Water Week. And I hope that you have joined us each and every day this week. We started out celebrating pre-treatment Monday, then boiler Tuesday, then cooling Wednesday. Yesterday was wastewater Thursday, which means today is careers Friday. Now, we are celebrating the most amazing job on the planet, that is being an industrial water treater. I am so proud to be an industrial water treater. I'm so proud to be the host of this podcast that caters to industrial water treaters. I am so proud to be a member of the Scaling Up Nation, which is full of industrial water treaters. By the way, we are over 20,000 members strong and growing every day because of industrial water treaters like you, and letting people know that there is a podcast out there that is helping elevate us all and keeping us entertained as we drive from account to account, encouraging us to try new things, encouraging us to think about things a little bit differently, and just having fun in the process. I know I am having fun bringing you this podcast each and every episode. And I think this has been our best industrial water week yet. We've had great celebration on the podcast. I've had a great time bringing you these daily episodes and seeing all of your social media posts by hashtagging to IWW25 and hashtagging to Scaling Up H2O. So many of you have sent pictures in of your favorite equipment. So cool to see members of the Scaling Up Nation. Well, Nation, don't stop. Do that again today. And by the way, if you need to catch up for any one of those days, feel free to do that today. We would love to see whatever piece of equipment that you are in front of. And if you are in front of one of your teachers, one of your mentors, somebody that hired you, somebody that you work with each and every day, if you're in front of one of your customers, they're the people that allow us to have a job in industrial water treatment, go ahead and grab a picture in front of them and hashtag that to IWW25 and hashtag scaling up H2O, because that's one of the ways that we celebrate Careers Friday. Now, another way that we celebrate Careers Friday is we have a cake that we share with our team. Now, maybe you baked your own cake. Maybe you're one of those people that baked a water cake, and you can find that recipe on our show notes page. I am not baking the water cake. I did it. I tried it. I can talk about it. I've got that experience. That's good enough for me. And if you want to do that, by all means, it is delicious. You're going to love it. It's going to be on your Thanksgiving menu each and every year. Well, that's questionable, but you might be that one person that I talked to at an AWT convention that said it's one of their favorite desserts now. Again, no judgment on that person. But you might be like me that asked somebody in our office to order a cake from our local bakery, and we posted right on it the Industrial Water Week logo. We got each and every day and those logos right on the cake. It says Industrial Water Week. We had them put our logo on that, and that's the cake that we are eating. So folks, if you have a cake, please take a picture of it and hashtag that to IWW25 and hashtag scaling up H2O. I would love to see it. It's one of my favorite things for the entire celebration, the Industrial Water Week way. And why wouldn't you enjoy a delicious cake? Nation, today we are wrapping up with Careers Friday, and we are tying a bow on Industrial Water Week. But we have the entire day to celebrate, so it's not over until midnight tonight. So make sure that you get the most out of it. And remember, this entire week, our theme is Water's Industrial Journey from Foundations to Futures. What are all the different ways where water enters our facility and all the different ways that we treat it, that we make water its best? But then also, what was the foundation of our career? How do we continue to build on that foundation? And what is the future going to bring with our knowledge, with our career? That's what we're thinking about this entire week. And I think it's just so fitting to acknowledge on Career Fridays all the people that have helped us within our career, all the people that brought us into this industry, that helped us build the foundation of knowledge that we have, that probably continue to do that today. And it's my hope that you just didn't receive that. You are now freely giving that information back. Folks, we should not hoard information. We should share information. And when we do that, information gets so much bigger, better, and greater. And I know for a fact that that is happening within the Scaling Up Nation, that this podcast is sharing information and you are sharing information out there. And one of our goals is to raise the bar in the industrial water treatment industry. And I know that we are doing that, and we are celebrating that today and the people that are helping us do that with Careers Friday. And I want to acknowledge one of my mentors, and of course, that is Bruce Kettrick Sr. He's been on the podcast before, and if you are any part of the Association of Water Technologies, you know Bruce Kettrick Sr. Now, I met Bruce Kettrick in 1997. I went to a technical training, and I happened to sit down at a table with nobody around it. Now, I don't know what I was thinking. I probably could have picked somebody I wanted to sit down next to, but I decided to roll the dice. And I sat down for lunch at an empty table. And then I had Jay Farmery sit to my right, and Bruce Ketrick sit to my left. Now, you talk about water treatment Jedi, and I was relatively young in my career. I had no clue what I didn't know, and I was terrified. These two water treatment Jedi were sitting on either side of me, and I had just taken a bite of sandwich, and Bruce Ketrick looked over at me and said, "What do you think?" I had no idea what to say. Now, thankfully, I had the luxury of just taking a bite of sandwich, so I was able to chew and think about what I was going to say. Now, saying that, I have no clue what I said, but what I remember about that day, both Bruce and Jay could not have been more inquisitive about me. They were asking questions about me. How did I get in the industry? How long have I been in the industry? What type of equipment do we work on? What am I going to do after this technical training? What was something I learned at this technical training? So I went from being very intimidated to being very impressed that these people that had a ton to talk about without me being there were actually talking about me with me in the conversation. Now, both of those men I can call mentors, and I have a story. I've got many stories about each of them, but today I'm going to talk about Bruce Ketrick because Bruce Ketrick was the chair of the education committee, and I didn't ask then, I asked a couple of years later, I asked Bruce if I could join the education committee. Now, I've shared with you on earlier podcasts that, and it was actually at that very training that I saw Jim Lukinich for the first time, and he was so passionate and so knowledgeable, and he was able to put those things together to enthusiastically teach industrial water treatment. That's where I said, I want to do that. Now, it took me a couple years to get some courage up, but I did ask Bruce if I can join the committee, and then I would just help edit things, or I would help if we needed to do something, but I wasn't an instructor. And Bruce could not get anybody to do math. Nobody wanted to do math. And Bruce said, "Trace, if you could do math, you would make my day." Now, I have to tell you, I absolutely love math, and if I got my choice of what I wanted to teach, it would have been math. And I told him I would gladly do that. Bruce thought I was joking, and then I tried to make an enthusiastic and fun math presentation. Yes, I tried my best. A chef is only as good as his ingredients, but if you've been to one of my math training courses, I hope you've had fun. I hope you said this is not your average math class. And one of the things I try to do there is not just teach math, but teach the why behind it. Well, Bruce Ketrick gave me that opportunity. And it's one of my most proud and looking forward to roles every year to go to technical training and to teach math. Well, then Bruce asked me and Mark Lewis if we could write the fundamental program. So because of that opportunity, Mark and I got to spend a bunch of time together, and we wrote that entire 3-day program to try to bring new water treatment professionals that were not having a very large foundation of knowledge. We were now starting to build that foundation of knowledge for them so they could go out in the field and they can learn more to build on that foundation. And what we found is so many people that have been in the industry for years that already had the foundation had forgotten how to teach at that foundational level, or they just wanted to find out how they can do it a little bit differently. So we started getting people from all different areas of their career joining that fundamentals and applications area of the training. That was all because of Bruce Ketrick. And I was teaching math for many, many years, and Bruce allowed me to teach math, which was great. And I remember one year I wasn't able to teach math. It was because my father passed away. And I told Bruce that I was not going to be able to come out to training. He immediately understood. He actually called me several times just to check in on me. And I remember after we said goodbye to my dad, I was driving back That was Virginia. I was driving back to Atlanta. I think I was somewhere north, South Carolina. Bruce called me and I was on hands-free. And Bruce asked me how I was doing, and I just broke down. And Bruce listened to me. He asked me some questions. And Bruce told me that he couldn't replace my father, but he could sure try to be there like a father. Folks, there are not that many people out there that will do something like that. And those were not just words to Bruce. Bruce has made good on that through the years. Bruce has taught me so much, things that I had no right to pull out of his head, that he has taken years to master, that he's messed stuff up. He spent lots of money to learn. He has freely given it to me. And Bruce Kettrick Sr., I am a better water treater because you cared to mentor me. And folks, it is my hope that you have a mentor like that. It is my hope that you are mentoring somebody like that. And folks, just imagine if we all had somebody like that, and if we all were somebody like that, not only how amazing this industry would be, but how amazing would this world be. Bruce, thank you for being my mentor, and I am celebrating you on this Careers Friday. Well, Nation, we've also got some other guests that are helping us celebrate Careers Friday. Here's Lee.
My name is Lee Bainbridge with SMS Environmental. I got into the water treatment industry by meeting some pretty inspirational people with my current employer, SMS Environmental. And that was when they were customers of mine for a previous employer. And I'd consider myself fortunate to come across those guys, John Sanford, Nick Hearn, Gavin Harris, who were the founders of the organisation. I'd encourage people who are thinking about a career in water treatment to be open-minded and be keen to learn, constantly learn as they go through. Never sort of stand still, and just always be focused on what is it that my customer wants from me? What can I provide my customer that's going to make their life easier and give them a level of assurance of what I'm doing for them? And I think we can make more people aware of our industry by great things like the Scaling Up H2O podcast, and by increasing the collaboration both within the UK but also cross-Atlantic collaboration with some of these great companies, organizations, individuals over in the US and the UK. Both sides of the pond have so much to learn from one another. And I think the thing I would take from the US that I think would work really well in the UK in terms of raising awareness is just the pride that you guys have got in being involved in this industry and this community.
Nation, Lee's episode was episode 370, entitled Unlocking Legionella Solutions, Perspectives on Regulations and Best Practices. Here's our next guest.
Happy Careers Friday, Scaling Up Nation. I'm Kalpana Solanki, President and CEO of the Environmental Operators Certification Program. I seriously think you should consider a career as an environmental operator. It's a career with purpose. You can work anywhere in the world. And what could be more purposeful than providing people with safe drinking water and wastewater management?
Thank you, Kalpana. She is just a bundle of fun. I don't know if you've ever met her or spoken with her at a conference, but she is somebody that loves to have fun. I really enjoyed having her on the podcast. That was episode 355, Backflow Prevention, Safeguarding Water Quality. Here's our next guest.
Well, happy Career Friday, Scaling Up Nation. Happy to talk with you today. My name is Mike Trasky. I've been a hydrogeologist for over 30 years. And if you're listening to me, you must also be interested in water. And I want you to know that there is a world of water out there ready for your exploration. I've been working this for a long time. It's not going to end anytime soon. I learn something practically every day. It keeps me fresh, keeps me challenged. It's a never-ending puzzle that I love trying to solve. And if you like puzzles, and if you like mysteries, and you like challenges, groundwater in particular is something you really want to look into. It's figuring out what's going on underground in a dynamic system that changes over time, that has real impact on our human health and sustainability. So there's a lot of good that comes out of this. There's a lot of meaning that you can put into it, and you get a lot back. So I would really encourage you to look into hydrogeology and be happy to talk with anyone about that.
That was a super fun interview for me. That was episode 362, where Mike came on and told us about his career. And the episode was entitled Navigating 97-005 Insights and Impacts on Potable Water. Now, Nation, I want to give a special thank you for all of our previous guests that decided to come back this week and help us celebrate Industrial Water Week. This is a huge effort. It is not just me. It is not just all the people within the Scaling Up H2O staff. It is all the people you heard of this week, and a lot of people that you have not heard from this week that are working behind the scenes, or that have set up a meeting or something for us to put into this episode. So thank you to everybody that allowed us to do this Super Bowl of podcast episodes this week. It was a huge task, but it was so worth it because we got to celebrate each and every day this week. Again, I think it's the biggest celebration yet, but Nation, it's not over. Of course, we have one more brand new installment of our favorite water detective, Detective H2O. And Nation, here is the case of knowing it all.
Welcome to Detective H2O, the case of knowing it all. It was a crisp fall morning in Waterville, the dew clinging to the windows of Oxidane Engineering. Herbert Henry Oxidane, P.I., CWT, also known as Detective H2O, was starting his day when the old black rotary phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Detective H2O here, the best water treater this side of the Ohio, solving water problems drop by drop. What you got?
Oh, Detective H2O. Howard Clyde Muriatic here, ex-powerhouse chief operator from the Aardvark Stampin'. Remember me?
Howard! Of course! Always a pleasure. What trouble are you stirring up now?
I've got a new gig, Detective. I'm in charge of all engineering here at the Anytime Data Center. Real high-tech, sensitive systems here. The higher-ups, they forced us to use DAC Chemical Company. I think it stands for Does Anybody Care? Because they are in and out of here so fast, I hardly see them. Can't even tell you our rep's name.
I see. Skimping on the service, eh?
And that's not all. We've got a young, new operator here. Lots of potential, but he sort of thinks he knows it all. Name's Winston Cartwright, master's degree in corrosion and bio. Hoping you could take a little time when you're here and size him up, too.
To be young again.
So, can you come by and take a look? Tell me what you think.
All right, Howard. You piqued my curiosity. I'll get my blue Ford started and be out your way within the hour. Detective H2O always enjoyed these drives with the windows down. 55-mile-per-hour air conditioning, he called it. He could smell rain in the air, a welcome scent. He thought back to his first day on the job, nervous but eager. If he could go back, he'd tell himself to cherish every moment, because it was the first day of where he found his calling, not just his first day on the job. Detective H2O pulled up to the plant. After being cleared through the barbed wire perimeter, He was escorted into the building, into a sterile white conference room. The digital age, always so stark and cold. He wasn't sure what to expect, but the door opened and a wide-eyed, confident young man walked in.
Mr. H2O?
Detective H2O, please. And you are?
Sorry about that, Detective. I'm Winston Cartwright. I have my master's degree in corrosion fundamentals and biological encounters.
Of the third kind?
I don't know what you mean. Anyway, I've read all your books and case studies. I'm not sure why Mr. Muriatic wants to waste your time. Everything here is working perfectly. We have all the latest tech. Controllers, pumps, meters, lab equipment. Everything's connected to the cloud. Our vendor's quite pleased with how things are working, and so am I.
Sounds impressive. But industrial water treatment is more than just technology. It's about the why, how, and what. Balancing these three gives you the secret sauce. Detective H2O thought to himself, is all that fancy technology backed up with real understanding? Well, Winston, Mr. Muriatic is expecting a report, and I'm here already. So why don't you show me around? Maybe I can learn something new.
I guess, as long as you don't mind wasting your time, since you are not going to find anything that's not working perfectly.
Winston led the way to the back of the plant, after working a keypad on the wall. Two doors swung open, revealing a mechanical room so pristine it practically glowed. Color-coded pipes, digital readouts everywhere, lights triggered by motion, spotless floors. It was a showpiece, possibly the best-kept mechanical room Detective H2O had ever seen. Quite the setup! Impressive! The water treatment station mirrored the room's perfection. Multicolored touchscreen controller, corrosion coupon rack with online corrosion monitoring, conductivity, pH, PTSA, ORP, product-level sensors on double-walled containment, the works. Looks like you have it all, Winston. With equipment like this, I bet not much gets past you.
Yes, sir. Runs like a champ. I can see everything that's happening remotely in real time. I even get text alerts when anything is out of spec. You're not going to find anything that's wrong with this system.
I see you're feeding inhibitor in a dual biocide program. Stabilized bromine and tributyl tetradecyl phosphonium chloride. TTPC, that is. Good combo. Mind if I press a few buttons to take a deep dive for myself?
No problem. Go ahead. You'll see we've got everything covered.
As Detective H2O dug into the data, he noticed a pattern. Every time the TTPC fed biocide, the PTSA level dropped, triggering the inhibitor pump to activate and overcompensate. Looks like you periodically overfeed the inhibitor.
No way. Our program is top-notch, very precise.
Over the years, I have observed biocides such as quats have a tendency to mask PTSA, fooling the controller to think the inhibitor level has dropped after a product like TTPC has been fed. Detective H2O brought up a graph on the controller to show Winston. Take a look at the correlation.
You're right, Detective H2O.
Detective H2O then navigated the controller through the complete biocide program while Winston watched. And you're not using the blowdown lockout timer during biocide feed. I think you have some product optimization opportunities here.
I guess so.
Also, take a look at that stabilized bromine feed. Notice the ORP level jumps very high after each feed. Pretty frequent schedule. Always fed this much?
Well, we've seen our microbiological counts going up, so I programmed the controller to feed more.
I see. With a cooling system this large, bet you have a long holding time index. HTI.
HTI? I'm not sure.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out. The point is, in some systems under the proper conditions, stabilized bromine programs can become overstabilized.
Overstabilized?
Yes, the stabilizer in the stabilized bromine can actually handcuff the bromine's ability to work on the organics in the system. Counterintuitively, feeding more doesn't always provide more control. However, even though the bromine is handcuffed and can't properly kill the organics, it can still be very corrosive to your system at these levels. I bet you've seen your online corrosion rates creep up when you start feeding more.
How can you know so much about my plant just by being here a few minutes?
It's my job. I've made and seen my share of mistakes over the years that I've learned from. I'm a certified water technologist. And above all, I've worked hard to see not just what's on the surface. I've learned how to interpret what lies underneath. I've learned the dance between equipment, products, and experience. I believe that being a water treater is one of the best jobs around because we get the opportunity to help people, protect the environment, conserve our natural resources, and preserve the bottom line. Plus, it never gets boring.
I see.
Technology is great, but it's just part of the picture. Knowing the interactions of products and the strengths and weaknesses of the technology allows us to read between the lines, knowing when to and not to trust what the instruments are saying. My on-site visits are more than just testing water and recording numbers. Industrial water treatment is far more interesting and nuanced than that. All the data comes together to tell a story. Mysteries can be solved, cases can be cracked, diagnoses can be made, villains to be stopped. An industrial water treatment professional is a detective, doctor, and superhero all rolled into one. Unfortunately, it looks like your current vendor is just in this business for the money, selling you everything they can with no true support. I believe that when you're committed to the industry and your customers, you are a resource, the conduit that brings equipment and understanding together. I'm proud to say this isn't just a job to me, it's my calling.
I've never looked at water treatment that way before. There's so much more to it than I thought. I have so many questions for you.
Detective H2O spent the rest of the day consulting with Winston, fine-tuning their systems, solving issues, and sharing his hard-earned knowledge with the eager young man. Driving home, Detective H2O just couldn't help continuously smiling, knowing he not only improved the water treatment program, but he also inspired the next generation in the water treatment industry. The next morning at the office, the black phone rang to life. Detective H2O here, solving water problems drop by drop. What you got?
Detective H2O, Howard Clad Muriatic again. I'm not sure what you did to Winston yesterday, but that young lad came to me this morning and asked if I could send him to the Association of Water Technology's technical training course. He also asked if I thought you would be his mentor. I said he would have to ask you that. But if I were you, I'd expect a call from him. I know you don't work for free, so let me know the damage and I'll clean up the invoice.
In the underbelly and penthouses of the metropolis of Waterville, where the boilers percolate and cooling towers fog, there is one man who works tirelessly to end corrosion, stop scale, fight low-life microbes, and conserve water. That man is Detective H2O, best water treater this side of the Ohio, solving water problems drop by drop.
My favorite part of Industrial Water Week is Detective H2O. James, thank you for that character. And Nation, I want to thank everybody that helped me with Industrial Water Week, but also putting together Detective H2O. So I had a huge honor this year where I recorded all the guest voices. Some were on site, some we did remotely. But it was just amazing to be able to work with James to help curate and record some of that content. James actually allowed me to do some writing this year. So cool. James, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for creating just a staple character within the industrial water treatment world. And of course, a staple on how we celebrate Industrial Water Week. But here is the time that we are all waiting for. We're now going to reveal each and every guest that we heard this week. And thank you for playing along with social media. You guys know voices pretty well. And I have to say, some of the guests were hilarious. So thank you. If you didn't know, you put a guest in, and some of those were pretty funny. So here we go. Here is the unveiling of all the guest appearances for this week's Industrial Water Week celebration of all of our brand new to Detective H2O. Now, on pre-treatment Monday, we heard the case of the singing canary, and folks, that guest voice was Laith Charles. Laith was on episode 62 entitled The One with the Pulsifeeder Guy, and then he came back for episode 224 entitled The One About the Internet of Things, Augmented Industrial Water Treatment. So Laith, thank you for lending your voice to the Detective H2O saga. Our next episode was Boiler Tuesday. That was the case of having the blues, and that guest voice was Frank Lacrone, the owner of Aquaphoenix Scientific. Now, here's the deal. Frank has not officially had an episode that he has appeared on, but he has been on this podcast multiple times because when we go to a convention and Aquaphoenix is there, I always interview Frank. So you have heard his voice several times, but don't worry, we not only heard Frank on Detective H2O, we are going to hear from Frank on episode 451 that will release on November 21st. So if you want more Frank Lacrone, and of course, who doesn't, that's going to be November 21st. Well, that takes us to a Cooling Wednesday, and that was the case of the unwanted foam party. And who was that mystery voice? Well, of course, you guessed it. That was yours truly. I got to do another guest voice. And James, thank you for that. That is one of the best honors. I've been several voices, several characters on the Detective H2O series, and I just love doing that. Now, James gave me an incredible honor this year. He allowed me to write that episode. Now, I will say, James protects the Detective H2O canon, so he did edit it quite a bit. He made sure that everything fit within everything we know about Detective H2O. But then after that, we went with that episode, and it was just such an honor to be able to do that. So, James, thank you for that privilege. That, of course, takes us to Wastewater Thursday. That's where we heard the case of too much of a good thing. And who was that mystery voice? Well, of course, that was none other than self-proclaimed queen of industrial water treatment, Angela Pike. Angela, it was so much fun working with you and recording you. For those of you that might have even been there when we did this, this was at technical training in San Francisco last year, and we actually sat across the table. Angela got into character and hijinks ensued from there. It was a riot. I had a great time with that. Again, such a great honor. If you want to hear more from Angela, I can't believe I have not interviewed Angela more. I need to fix that. Angela has been on the podcast several times when I did recordings on site and I asked what was going on at conventions for AWT. But her official episode was way back on episode 26, and that was where she revealed all things about the CWT. So, and we've changed a couple of things since there, but if you go back to episode 26, most of the things are the same. I think the big difference is we do not offer a paper test anymore. We simply have the computerized testing center testing. So that's the only big difference. All of that episode will help you if you are going to endeavor to get your certified water technologist. And it's my hope as you are contemplating our theme this year, Water's Industrial Journey from Foundations to Futures, that your future includes getting your certified water technologist designation. Now, to help you with that and to helpfully make you make the first step, I've got a free gift to give you where I go through the CWT manual. If you want to go to scalinguph2o.com/CWT prep, and you can get that for free. And then if you decide you want to get the paid version, I take you through a 100 question practice exam where you get to take it, and then I take it on each video of that series and show you exactly how I got the answer, what you might want to study if you didn't get the answer, and how to use some test-taking techniques to narrow down some answers that you might not know. So all of that is available for you. But again, it's my hope you either have your CWT or you are working on your CWT, and going to scalinguph2o.com/CWT prep might be a way to get you started on that. Okay, now let's talk about today's episode, the case of knowing it all. And of course, we had two guest voice on today's episode, and that was Mark Lewis and James Courtney. Now, James was on episode 394 entitled Visibility and Value Enhancing Sustainability in Water Treatment. So by all means, if you want to go back and listen to that, there was so much great information that James shared with us on sustainability. And by the way, James is going to be speaking on sustainability and what is in it for you and how you can use it to differentiate yourself and really make your customers look good at this AWT convention. So if you're going to AWT in Colorado Springs, make sure you have seen James's presentation on your calendar. You are going to love that presentation. Now, then there's Mark Lewis, and Mark has been on too many times to count, but I will count a few. There was episode 31, and then Mark came back for episode 34. That was where he threw away all my notes and he interviewed me. Then Mark was back recently at the beginning of this year for episode 404 and episode 406. So Mark, thank you for not only doing the Detective H2O, not only for doing those episodes, but when it comes to foundations and mentors and water treatment, I don't know if I'd go as far as to call you a mentor. Again, Mark, I'm teasing you. You are one of my best water treatment friends, and I want to thank you on this Careers Friday for all that you have done and continue to do for me. Folks, I hope that you have relationships like we are talking about. It's my hope that you love being in this industry, that this industry is a part of you, that this industry is better because you are part of this industry. And it's my hope that you use today, Careers Friday, to celebrate all of that. Now, we would not be celebrating without our friend James McDonald, who got this holiday started so many years ago. So here to celebrate even more is a brand new installment of What Do You Know?
Hello and welcome to What Do You Know? The game show where we find out what do you know about industrial water treatment, drop by drop. So pump up your brain, take out that test kit of knowledge, and prepare to answer this week's question on What Do You Know? Today's question is, what forms of purchased energy may be present in water? Electric energy and fuel energy, such as natural gas, coal, and fuel oil. These purchased energy sources may take the form of heat, cooling, pressure, flow, pretreatment, etc. I'm James McDonald, and thanks for playing along with us. Stay tuned for next week's episode of What Do You Know?
Well, James, thank you for What Do You Know, and thank you for all you do for this community. You know, we talk about foundations in the water treatment industry. So many of us are impacted, and our foundation is structured all around some of the things that James McDonald does and continues to do. So James, a personal thank you for all of the content that you put out there, all the ways that you make industrial water treatment fun. And I love that you are part of this podcast each and every week. And I want to thank you on this Careers Friday. Nation, I want to challenge you with a couple of things. One, who are the people that are helping to build or have helped build your foundation in industrial water treatment? Reach out to them, send them a text, give them a phone call, write them a thank you note, let them know what they did for you. And I'm willing to bet you might even get a text, a phone call, or a thank you note. So it's my hope that you do that. And I would love it if you hashtagged IWW25 and Scaling Up H2O with a story on how you started in industrial water treatment. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a text, whatever you would like to do. I would love the Scaling Up Nation to know your story on how you got into this industry. Nation, thank you so much for allowing me to host your central celebration destination with this podcast each and every day this week. Of course, we're going to do this again next year. It's my hope that you're going to use the rest of today to really celebrate being in the best industry in the world. I'm sure glad that you are part of this industry because I know you are helping raise the bar in the industrial water treatment industry by you being in it and all the things that you do each and every day. Now, my final ask is that before this week is over, I want you to pledge to help one new person discover the world of industrial water treatment. Many of us just fell into this industry. Some of us were born into this industry, but all of us are lucky that we are in this industry, and so many people don't know about this industry. So tell somebody new about this industry, because we are getting ready to lose so many individuals because of retirement, and we need not to replace those individuals, but invite those individuals to change their roles of guiding mentors to these new people that we are going to talk to this week. Nation, happy Industrial Water Week. Thank you for celebrating with me. I can't wait to see what you do on social media, and have a great rest of your celebration, folks. There's no doubt about it. Taking the Certified Water Technologist examination is one of the most challenging tasks you'll do in your water treatment career. But I'm here to help you with the first step. And that first step is my free gift to you, and that is a free CWT prep course. That's right. If you go to scalinguph2o.com/CWT prep, you'll get a portion of the paid course where you can see the type of materials that you'll be working with if you decide to sign up for the full course. Again, this is my free gift to you to get you on the journey to getting your Certified Water Technologist designation. Go to scalinguph2o.com/CWT prep today.